Mark Houck, the pro-life activist that the Biden administration wanted to make an example of, who was arrested for obstructing abortion clinic access back in October 2021, has had his day in a Pennsylvania court and was found not guilty, which is a huge win for people who understand that every life is a precious gift from God, and for Constitution-loving Americans that don't want the federal government abusing its powers because of a political ideology. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we are the antidote to the daily onslaught of radical woke Marxist propaganda. So the 48-year-old Mark Houck was charged with violating the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, which makes it a federal crime to use force with the intent to hurt, intimidate, or interfere with anybody who provides so-called reproductive health care. I love how the politically correct death squad calls it reproductive health care when there's nothing being reproduced in their clinics. All right, so Houck pleaded not guilty. Okay, so the story goes that Houck was accused of shoving a man by the name of Bruce Love, who was a clinic volunteer. The prosecution said that the Catholic father and pro-life activist attacked Love in an attempt to disrupt the abortion clinic's operations. Houck responded saying, "No way." Houck said from the very beginning that this Bruce Love guy was being really nasty and harassing his son, and that he simply shoved the guy to protect his child. Every father has that right, even if he's protecting his child from a member of the politically correct death squad. And you probably remember seeing it, but in September of 2022, multiple FBI agents went to the house and arrested Houck. Not long after Houck's arrest, I believe it was in October, his attorney Peter Breen said that the Department of Justice's detention of his client was an outrageous abuse of power aimed to scare pro-life Americans. And he's absolutely right. Look, I understand if you make a living in the slaughtering of innocent babies, you've made that decision. You want to know that you can go to work to kill said babies without, any violence coming to you, ironically, right? You support the violence of an innocent life being taken away, while at the same time you're afraid of violence happening to you. So I get that. There are a lot of people in the pro-life movement who feel passionate about the slaughter of millions of babies when there are so many services out there and loving people and loving couples who want to adopt, who will help expectant mothers that don't want to have the child. I mean, we're even allowing gay couples and single people adopt now, so there's no excuse for this. Okay, but putting my feelings as a pro-lifer aside, I can understand the legality of having such a law that says, look, you can't attack people, especially the women who are going in to slaughter their own child outside of an abortion clinic. Notice they say clinic in the bill, but it doesn't mean any other clinic. That's another video. And even though abortion is one of the lowest of the low, with no morality whatsoever behind it, it's almost equally as low for the federal government to abuse that law to protect abortion clinic workers by saying that a man protecting his son from an abusive POS who was harassing his child was actually there to harm people working at the clinic. Mark Houck did not have a reputation of harming people, and he did a lot of protests outside of a lot of abortion clinics. Houck's lawyer said, "The message from the Biden Department of Justice is pure intimidation against pro-life people and people of faith." And he's right about that. He continued, "Why in the world would you send a phalanx of officers heavily armed to his family's home, violate the sanctity of their home, frighten their children? Why would you do that other than to just send a message?" He's right, folks. The Gestapo tactics of the Biden administration and Merrick Garland's DOJ is just unfathomable in the United States just 5 years ago, right? The jury began deliberations on Friday and resumed Monday morning, with a gathering outside the courtroom praying, including Houck's relatives. So around 1:30, a juror was replaced with an alternate juror, according to the Catholic News Agency. The decision was reached soon after, and he was found not guilty. Okay, so Breen made a statement afterwards. He said, "We took on Goliath, the full might of the United States government, and won." And he's correct. He said, "The jury saw through and rejected the prosecution's discriminatory case, which was harassment from day one. It was. He said, "This is a win for Mark and for the entire pro-life movement." Hear, hear. The Biden Department of Justice's intimidation against pro-life people and people of faith has been put in its place. But don't think that these POSs aren't going to try to come back. Now, there still are some good people in D.C. responding to the news that Mark Houck was found not guilty. Representative Chip Roy of Texas, he tweeted out in response to it, "Good. Begs the question of the $48 billion we give to DOJ. Hashtag stand up for America." That's right, folks. Standing up for pro-life is standing up for America because we are a pro-life nation. I don't give a damn what they tell you. Okay, so I'm going to put the link to the story down in the description. Please visit RPW Media. Get on our newsletter. Subscribe. The link's down there as well. That's it. Thanks a lot for spending time with us. We'll see you in the next one.
Every day I'm looking for a way to return to the time when everything was easy to learn. Don't know when it started to get so serious.